The HuskerOnline in-state tour rolled through Norfolk on Wednesday to check in with the 2017 Class C1 state champions from Norfolk Catholic. It was a special year for the Knights, en route to a perfect 13-0 record. Head coach Jeff Beller became the all-time winningest high school football coach in Nebraska history, and Norfolk Catholic set the state record, winning their 10th state championship in football.
Well, personally, it's I've had a long career, but I've been very blessed in terms of coaching some great athletes, and this was kind of one of those years where there seemed to be some things that could come up during the year. If we got a certain amount of wins, I would go by, Coach Jaworski, who's a guy that I've always looked up to, and what an outstanding football coach and great man. So that occurred in the Wayne game, and then we were able to, as a school, win a 10th state championship, which nobody had done in the present time of the state playoff system anyway, and that was huge for our school and for our kids. So yeah, it was one of those years that things fell into place for us. Our kids played well. We got a little better every week. We had a very, very good schedule. I mean, just every week we had very few games that you would go into and say, well, yeah, we're just going to win that game. They were all just great battles. I think through that we stayed healthy, which was huge, and then I was able to win some tight games and push the thing to the end and win the state championship. So one of those years that you feel good about when you got through it.
Coach Beller's team was led by a talented trio of juniors, all-state performers Ethan Piper, Dylan Couts, and Joe Teeton.
I'm most proud of how we pulled things together as a team during the season. At the beginning, we were an average team, and throughout the whole season, we pushed each other in the weight room and at practice to get better and be the best we could be, and that showed in the state game. We were at our best, and I think we pulled it really well together at the end.
This is probably one of the best experiences of my life, knowing that all the hard work we put in, like the off season, in season, all that running we've done at practice, it finally just pays off, and there's nothing like going undefeated in a season with all your best friends. And like my freshman year, I played in the state championship game, and so me and Ethan had some experience in that, and so did some other guys on our team. So I think that we just went into the game knowing that we can get it done if we play well.
Just knows everything paid off in the weight room over the summer. Everybody getting together, coming together as a team. I was really proud of our defense the way we ended the year. Our last 9 quarters we played didn't give up a single point, which I was really proud of. Had a battle back in that Aquinas game, but just knows everything paid off in the summer and came together as a team.
Ethan Piper has improved every year since starting on varsity as a freshman for the Knights. Iowa, Ohio, and South Dakota State have already offered, and just hours after we sat down with Ethan, Nebraska came through with a scholarship offer.
I don't know, that's kind of like the cherry on top of the cake. All that really mattered to me this season was just getting the 10th state championship for our school, and all the other stuff that came after it was just a little bit extra. So I can't really explain it, but I'm just very blessed to have all these colleges looking at me, and I give it all to our team this season and how well we did. I have been in touch with some people from Air Force, Nebraska, Stanford, and Princeton. Those probably, and North Dakota State too. So those are probably people I'm talking to the most right now.
I've had Ohio University here saying we really want to look at him as a defensive lineman. Iowa has been a little unsure which side. I think they're leaning more towards D-line, but could go O-line. And then the University of Wyoming was here, and South Dakota State looking at him more as an offensive lineman. And Nebraska has talked to me, and again, probably hadn't made a commitment which way they would go with him, but he's got some skills on both sides, and I guess it would probably be more about the fit, what he would come into. I think we play him as an offensive tackle. He may not be quite tall enough for some of that position in college, so he can move to an offensive guard or a center. I think he's got good enough feet to do that, but he also moves extremely well as a defensive lineman. So that will probably play out through that senior year where somebody will look at him and say this is just the best fit for our program wherever he ends up.
Barrett Rude came a couple weeks ago and just kind of stopped by and maybe talked to him for like 30 seconds or something. I just introduced myself, but that's about it.
They have been here, and they're, you know, I'm very happy that Coach Frost is there and his staff, and I'm sure they're going to do an outstanding job. And we visited about some of our players, and obviously when they contacted me right as that occurred, they said, well, Coach, we're going to be playing a little catch up, and we're looking at some of your juniors, so give us some time. And so we're doing that, and we think good things will happen with our guys as they get a look at them and see what they want, and you know, we'll see where that plays out.
I got done talking to him a couple of weeks ago, and I think I'm going to the spring game sometime this spring. So, yeah, I've been talking to him a lot lately. So.
Joe Teton is also starting to see his recruitment pick up after his performance on the field last year.
Personally, I was really surprised with the second team Super State. That was a nice honor. I was just hoping to get all state. But personally, I just really liked how I played. I had a year under my belt as a sophomore starting, and then I just felt really more comfortable out there. Kind of, coaches talked about don't go in the game expect to just play with them, go and dominate your opponent, and I really think we did that.
Joe Teton has gotten a lot bigger through that sophomore to junior year. He played quite a bit as a sophomore, as kind of a rotator. Started this year as a junior on both sides for us. He's a big kid, you know, has very good feet. Involved in multiple sports in basketball and track and field, and I think he has a big upside too as a young man that can play. Again, some of the games they were both our offensive tackles, Joe and Ethan, and then some of the games we'd line them up guy by guy just to say, you know, we're going to run right here and move some people back, and we were able to do that. So I think he is a young man that can play also at a high level. And again, it may be a school. What's their needs? You know, are they looking for offensive linemen? And again, Joe could possibly be projected as a D lineman too. It would probably depend on the needs and where he would fit. But he's got good feet, and he can get out and move at people and block on the run. So I think he has a lot of tools that people will be looking for. I'm
most in contact with South Dakota State, and then I've been invited to their junior day, the North Dakota Junior Day in April, and then I got a letter in the mail the other day from Minnesota State Moorhead, giving me a bunch of dates for their camps.
And the man running the ball behind those two big guys has speed to burn, Dylan Couch.
Right now it's Minnesota, Iowa. I haven't heard anything from Nebraska yet. South Dakota State talks to me quite a bit. Minnesota State Moorhead. And I got a few track schools just sending me some stuff.
Well, I think Dylan, as you said, he's blessed with a lot of speed. And we utilize him as a freshman. He shared some time with David Engelhop, and David's down at the university right now. And really, as a freshman, he was more of a speed guy. I think that sophomore into his junior year has speed, but then developed a runner that could run inside the tackles, power run, get outside then if you missed him and be gone. So I think he really brings the whole package to the table now. And again, that has to do with what people are looking for. Dylan's 5'9", probably 180 pounds, may play a little heavier than that as a senior. Very, very strong, and again, has ran electronic 4.4, you know, some probably very, very, very good times in terms of maybe what other colleges. Went to the University of Iowa's camp last year, and they called and told me he was the fastest guy at their camp out of 1,000 athletes that came through. So he has that speed that can play at the Division I level. Now the key is where's the fit for him to go, and is he a running back? Is he a defensive back, which he plays a little for us both? Could he be an inside receiver in a spread set? I think yes is the answer to all those, but it may be the best fit for us. He's going to be a ball carrier. We need him to touch the ball 25 times a game just because of the abilities he has. And then again, if that could translate to a speed offense that Coach Frost is going to run maybe, or an Oklahoma State or a Texas Tech, I don't know where, but somebody that doesn't need that big bruising back, that's going to snap the ball a lot and get a person out in space to run the football, that's going to be a good fit for Dylan. So we're hoping that will be the place wherever that may be.
Every time I've talked to Coach, they said the biggest thing I can work on right now is my cutting, and I've tried working on that in the off season. I think I've gotten a lot better at it, but there's still some room that I can work in some of those speed cuts.
Norfolk Catholic was reclassified and will play in Class C2 in 2018, but they know that it won't be easy to win state title number 11.
We're going to have to replace the leadership the seniors brought last year. I mean, they were great, and they just brought the team together. Like, we were all best friends out there having fun. And I know everyone's got to work hard in the weight room. We can't just expect it to happen because people are going to be out to get us next year.
One of the biggest things from going from a state championship team to next season is never be too full of yourself. Always be humble. We're going to have to tell the guys that it doesn't matter what we did last season. This is a whole new beginning. Everybody's starting the same. And really hit the weight room hard this offseason and really train hard and just get ready like we usually do.
We need to make sure that we're the same leaders that we had this year for the senior class. They did a great job with us, and we just need to make sure we come together as a team, make sure everybody's in the weight room, got a good group of guys coming back that I know we can get back down there if we work hard enough.
Reporting from Norfolk, Nebraska for HuskerOnline.com, I'm Greg Peterson.